Parallel and perpendicular lines. All right. Parallel lines have the same slope. Now, the symbol for parallel is like a giant slanty 11 because they look like parallel lines. Now, think about it. If one line is going up 2 and over 3, the other line's doing the same one, they'll never go up if they go up at the same rate. Parallel lines never touch because they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite and reciprocal slope. All right, now the symbol for perpendicular looks like an upside down T. All right, now, an example of a perpendicular slope, if the slope is, let's talk about like I said before, if the slope is 3/2, what would be the slope of the perpendicular? M of the perpendicular would be, well, the opposite, this is positive 3/2, so the opposite would be negative. And then the reciprocal, 2/3. Now, there is one special case. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. So perpendicular to a horizontal line would be a vertical line. And the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Real quick, here's why. If a horizontal line is 0, another way to write 0 is 0 divided by 1. The opposite would be negative. The reciprocal would be 1 divided by 0. And the 11th commandment, thou shalt not divide by 0, because when 0 is under, it's undefined. So one thing that you should know is that horizontal line is 0, vertical is perpendicular to horizontal, and the slope is undefined. Now, let's do another example here. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this line here and goes through this point. Just like with writing the equations of any lines, let's start with point-slope form. And in order to do point-slope form, you need a point, which they gave us. The point is 6, -4. And we need a slope. Now, the slope of this line here is 3. So that means the slope of the perpendicular would be negative, and the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. So we got our point, we got our slope, put it in point-slope form. Y minus -4 equals slope, -1/3, x minus 6. There's point-slope form. Now, minus negative, make that add the opposite, and you get y plus 4. If they want the answer in slope-intercept form, first thing you do is distribute. So you got y plus 4 equals -1/3 x. Now, negative 1/3 times -6, negative times negative is positive. 1/3 of 6, if you get your calculator, you'll find that 1/3 of 6 is 2. Subtract 4 from both sides, and you get y equals -1/3 x minus 2. That is slope-intercept form. This one would be point-slope form. So the big ideas here, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal slope. Opposite means positive to negative. Reciprocal means you flip the fraction. There's a special case. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope. Vertical lines have an undefined slope. And then if you're given a problem like this, identify the slope. If it's parallel, then you use the same slope and use the point that's given.